Weird, our comedy show where we explore the unusual, the unbelievable, and the unexplained to try and make your world a little weirder. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Nile, and I just want to take a minute and start the episode off. This is episode 500 for
It's
those
500.
that
We're
didn't
500
check
today.
the fucking number when they loaded this episode. 'Cause some
Literally
people I know, they just
impossible
have
to do,
cues.
by the way.
I mean, you can do it, and here's how. I have podcasts that are set up to auto-add to my queue when they get released. So sometimes I'll be listening, and I'll just go to the next thing, and I will not have looked at what that is, and then you get a little cheeky surprise.
Okay, I would not have conceived of that. I'm a numbers guy. I'm like, oh, what number is today's episode? Oh, okay, we're looking at, I go download a new podcast. I'm like, what number is it? Oh, 383. That's interesting. I love the number there. And
then
I
you go
follow
through all
from
of
there.
like the symbology of 383 and how it
Yep.
ties into everything, and you really
I'm a
get
numbers
in your,
guy.
your head. Yeah.
I'm a numbers
but this
guy.
is 500.
500. I mean,
What does 500 mean to you, Kyle?
what does 500 mean to me? There's didn't they do like a fucking sequel to 300 and they were like, well, let's call it 500?
Yeah, I think they did. They skipped from 300 to 500 and didn't do like 301, 302. I could go on.
It's one of those escalations where you just sort of like are like you would expect 301. Like, okay, remember when 101 Dalmatians was a movie? And then they were like, we're going to do 102 Dalmatians. You're like, I expect that. I knew that's what was coming. 500 was sort of a blindsiding event
It's true.
in film. And that's what got people excited about it. I could be completely misremembering this, by the way, but this is my recollection of...
No, this is all spot on.
Who did the 300 movie?
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's like, we're skipping right to 500. And
This time, two guys are going to get kicked into a big pit.
Right. Which, that would be the expected escalation, despite the title being the unexpected escalation. So you hit him with a couple of expectations and unexpected things. You sort of mix it up a little bit, and you come out with a movie that everybody likes. So
A thing you can say about all Zack Snyder movies.
Yes, of which I am a fan. I'm trying to remember what else he did, but I know I love it.
You're a Sucker Punch stan.
Well,
here's...
Oh my God, you can't just say that and move on. You
Yeah, I
can't.
can.
That's unfair.
That's the only way. That's
true.
the only way to say it.
It is, because Kyle has very rational views about Sucker Punch. I wanted
No,
to say that
shush.
on record.
Oh my God.
You have to say it,
cut it.
and move on.
Oh Jesus.
Cut it. Get it out of here.
Fuck me.
Well, for those that didn't hear that, we have a couple guests in the virtual stewed with us this week. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Doing a little jazzy
Happy
rendition. I'm bleeding
birthday.
into
It
you.
gets weird.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank
You know,
you.
500 actually does represent to me 10 years of this fucking podcast. So I appreciate the birthday wishes. We do have another guest. I should say before I jump into another fantastically crafted bit. You want to say hello?
Kept you waiting, huh?
Everybody.
I tried to get as close as the mic to possible, or as possible there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Garrett,
It's me. It's Garrett.
I can't stress how many comments we get about you and Jules, where to the point where I really think that maybe moving forward the correct move, just for so many reasons, is for Nile and I to hand over the reins to you and Jules, and just
I
both
think that's
run the
right.
show.
I think that's right.
it would be legitimately very funny for one of us to put together a set of notes and hand it to one of
my
these
God.
two, and then they do an episode.
Fuck.
That would be a very funny thing
We
to
should
do.
have done that for episode 500. I'm realizing.
Scratch this whole thing.
Yeah, fuck
It's
it.
gonna
We'll
be.
go back.
It's gonna be so funny when you do that, and nobody wants it to go back. They're like, "Yep, Nile and Kyle are done. It's over."
It's over.
Yeah.
The podcast.
Sure, their names rhymed, but was that really
Was that
special?
enough? That didn't carry the show on its own.
Oh, it's Ghouls and Jules.
Well, it is going to turn into It Gets Weird by Nile and Kyle, as hosted by Jules and Garrett. That's the full title of the podcast.
Bye, Nile and Kyle. I like it.
Is that how you're listed right now?
I think technically it is.
It says bye?
as performed
I guess because
by.
it's the author of.
Yeah.
I'm not. You should put that on the icon on the podcast.
Recorded in stereo sound by
Yes.
Nile and Kyle.
And Technicolor.
And then bounce down to mono for your and,
We
and
can't
like
afford
at
Technicolor.
the lowest settings to get onto your podcast feed.
So, what are we actually doing here? To be honest, Nile and I have a very loose idea of what we're doing here, and Garrett and Jules don't quite know what we're doing here. So,
I have no idea.
Not a damn thing. They found me in a pit out back, and they threw a rope down and said, "We're recording." And I said, "I've been down there for months. I long ago ate everything at the bottom and have been I eventually adapted to sort of filter feed." But
Garrett's always being found in like Garrett is a lost animal.
Yeah.
This has been well established on the show. Garrett, we talk constantly about Garrett's shiny coat and him being released into the wild and stuff.
When Garrett
hunted
comes
for
to visit
sport
us,
at one point.
I take one of those plastic totes that you can get at Walmart, and I cut a hole in it, and I put insulation inside, and I put a little bowl with water and
Yep.
another bowl with food,
And I am
and I have
set.
to coax him into it.
What's
Exactly.
weird is Garrett is sort of a shape-shifting animalistic thing as well, too, because usually when I'm keeping him captive, it's in a bell jar with holes poked in the top so he can breathe in a couple sticks in there that he can
I
crawl
gotta
on.
have the stick in there.
Yeah, because he
Gotta
loves
have the
crawling
stick.
on that. So he's
Huge
some sort of
fan.
animal,
Do be
indeterminate.
crawling on that.
One of
though.
my favorite pastimes, crawling.
Yes.
Skittering,
That's crawling,
why-
that's a
skittering.
great one.
That's
Love to
He
juke.
has those little hands, the bug hands that just close, like
Yes.
Lego hands. You know what I'm talking about?
Like a chameleon.
Lizard hands.
chameleon,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Kyle and I, as he was explaining before we got so rudely interrupted by some sort of emergency, we decided to tackle this episode slightly differently. Most of the time, one of us is an expert, the other one is the fool. This time, we knew we were going to have some guests, and so we decided to tackle one topic, but from two directions split up between us. So the plan today is to talk finally. I know people have been waiting a long time for this. We're going to finally talk about Roswell. And Kyle and I kind of took two different bents to it, and we're going to do...
You should have held for applause.
Oh, I should have.
People need a second to recover.
People are sitting at home with their headphones on, and as soon as you said Roswell, it was just all
They
clapping.
broke out into applause. If they were sitting, they stood.
I'll put in some silence there. I'll make
Thank
sure
you.
that there's plenty of room for applause.
You're really
Thank
going to want
God.
to keep that particular thing in mind when we finally do JFK as well, because people will not just be applauding when we do that. They'll be yelling. They'll be freaking the fuck out, and you're
It's
going
gonna
to
be
need to
like-
leave space.
It's going to be like Con, though. You're going to get a 10-minute standing O. So you have to leave in a really
Yeah, long.
big pause.
You're going to know when the JFK episode comes out because you're going to hear screaming up and down your street. The legions of fans of It Gets Weird hollering out their windows, screaming, "They did it! They did
happened.
it!"
The people
They
banging on
fucking
pots
got
and
'em.
pans. It's going to be a ticker tape parade.
It's going to be like the COVID nursing power hours that
Yeah.
they used to do.
And we're also going to win the podcasting Oscar, so that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah,
First
this is
podcast EGOT.
Whoopi is going to give it to us herself. It's going to be great.
Oh my god, can we get?
God, if
can we
only
have
it
the
was
poll for
Whoopi.
Whoopi?
Can we get Whoopi on the pod?
So this is Roswell. And I kind of, in my mind, have been calling this the Roswell Roundtable because we kind of just want to generate discussion amongst the four of us here about this topic, which, like Niall said, we kind of went on two different paths here. I think I did the most predictable thing, funny enough, on which path I investigated for Roswell.
Now, what is Roswell?
Oh, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get
Oh,
to that.
thank God. Okay.
Hold your horses.
Nile, of course, researched the extraterrestrial story of Roswell, or probably stories. I don't know how you frame it here, Nile.
It scares. I've got kind of a timeline of the extraterrestrial side of Roswell. So,
and of course, I looked into the human conspiracy stuff of Roswell a little bit. One particular theory that I found, but also some details surrounding why you might question the official narrative of Roswell, even if you don't already want to say it was aliens. You know what I mean? Like there's some question to what happened here. The other thing that also I was thinking about while looking into this is I found that a lot of researchers in the UFO space, especially people who are, how would you describe them? People who are a little bit more on the enthusiast, which is somewhere between skeptical and true believer, you know, where like you don't necessarily believe every alien story just by definition or whatever, but you also don't necessarily want to dismiss things out of hand. They fucking hate Roswell. They don't want to talk about Roswell. Like, did you feel this way, Nile?
Yeah, there is like there are people that specifically almost only talk about Roswell, and then everybody else is kind of sick of it and think that because I think for some reasons that you'll probably talk about more than I will. Roswell is kind of a poisoned well in the UFO community because of a lot of the different narratives surrounding it and how it has been used and weaponized by the larger world against the UFO community. You know?
Yeah, that fucking hotel.
Yeah. The little alien inn? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, they've had it too good for too long.
I agree, actually.
That's the real problem with Roswell is this little alien. And that bar on what's the alien highway? What's that called down by Roswell?
It's not. Oh man, I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head.
There's a highway that has like a bunch of alien themed stuff on the way to Roswell, and I forget what they call it, but like UFO highway or something like that. And you know that strip really has been raking in cash far too long. You know?
Yeah. I'm curious just to hear from Jules and Garrett. What do you two know about Roswell right now?
Most of it.
Interesting.
Whatever you guys are going to say, Garrett already knows.
Okay. Oh, that's fascinating. So, Jules, is it? Do you know?
I've seen Paul.
Yeah.
Do they talk about Roswell?
That's
and Paul?
pretty much
He is a
all
Roswell
of it.
alien, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
They covered it.
They covered though.
He
so that's
like
the whole thing.
doesn't he escape from Roswell, and that's when they pick him up and stuff?
I think
so. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Well, I
watched it last night and I don't remember.
Did you really?
No.
Oh. Okay.
We have that. It's funny that Paul has become like a running gag with you and I because of how much you've suggested it for stuff for this podcast.
I keep telling you guys to watch it.
Anytime we talk about doing a movie or something, it's
I'm like,
always
how
been
about
like we should do
Paul?
Paul. And I don't disagree. I think Paul is a
I
fine
am right.
film.
I am
You
right
are.
about this, and you're gonna get people writing in.
Yeah,
You're
we
gonna
probably
get.
should.
You better get ready because you're gonna
Dozens and dozens of letters.
get so many letters. You're gonna be buried in letters.
Mm-hmm.
Please watch
Learn to
Paul.
swim.
I'm begging.
I mean, the movie dares to ask the question that's on everybody's mind about aliens, which is, do they smoke weed?
Exactly.
So
I thought,
Which is a question I think we asked like in the first 10 episodes of It Gets Weird.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes,
I wonder if they all sound like Seth Rogen.
that's a great
Tick.
point. Sort of like
Check, please.
Man, I immediately started going, who is the alien voice in The World's End? Don't the aliens talk?
Yes, they do at the very end.
Isn't it just like some British guy?
It probably is. I was trying
It
to
is
come up with
somebody,
another
I think.
character.
It's a
Some
voice actor,
British
I think. It's a
bullshit.
guy. Fuck! I wish I had that. I wish I could pull that.
Yeah. Sometimes you go for a poll and it just isn't there, you know?
Well, so okay. So
I know.
Garrett,
okay, you asked me.
Yes.
Do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Do you want me to
do what
answer
Scott
in
has
earnest?
Oh, do I want
you
a
want
sincere
real
answer? Sure. Yeah, that would be cool.
Do a what?
Oh, do
Do a what? We're both wearing a different podcast's t-shirt. That's
Yeah.
sick. It's twisted and wrong. Well, I'd wear a t-shirt for this podcast, but this is
Look,
awkward.
You're not allowed to have t-shirts as a podcast until you exist for over 10 years.
You have to hit
long
that
as we've got that
10-year
sorted.
anniversary, and then you're allowed to do the T-shirts. And if you do it before then you are summarily executed by the podcast police. So
It's true.
As far as I'm aware, a spaceship crashed in Roswell, and the government covered it up, and they dissected aliens.
Okay.
And I know other stuff too.
But that's the gist.
Basically, I have like a very general understanding of that as a thing people actually talk about. And then I have a pop culture understanding of literally like shit like Paul. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like,
Because that's
a
the thing.
million movies have that in it.
Yeah, that's the thing. There is when I'm talking about like what the general populace has done with Roswell. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Is like the pop cultural narrative of it.
I've never read a book about it.
Yeah.
I've never, you know what I mean? I don't even think I've watched a documentary on this with you guys.
No.
Have I ever? I don't think I've done a.
The closest
I've seen a
is
couple specials.
Saucer Spooks and Kooks and stuff that talk.
I've seen it skirt.
That.
I've seen it like
But-
it get referenced as part of a larger topic.
Yeah.
But so basically, aliens was there.
Hey,
Aliens was there.
This will be good then, because there's gonna be a lot. There's a lot to know about Roswell if you haven't figured that out yet.
Title of the episode.
So, do you think it
The
makes more
title is
sense
going
to
to be
start?
Roswell That Ends Well.
I like that. Roswell.
I feel like
ends well.
that's the name
good.
of something.
That's
isn't
probably somebody's already done that shit.
It's
Name
gotta
like
be. It's
Garrett.
it's too clever for me to have come up with it by myself.
Oh, geez, yeah, that's what we're saying, Garrett.
That's what I'm saying about myself.
Oh, okay.
How about you, Roswell? These nuts.
Oh my God, Jules.
Yes, that's what it is. It's
okay.
the episode where Fry's his own grandpa. Yeah.
well,
It's a time travel thing that he Back to the Future is his grandmother,
I
basically. but
remember.
goes through
Yeah,
with
I didn't know the episode was called that, but I do remember
cool.
that episode. Well, Nile and I, we are supposed to be sort of tag teaming this story, like we straight up Eiffel Tower this thing, but
Sickening.
I don't know, Nile. Does it make sense to launch into the alien side of things first? You think?
Yeah,
Or?
I think let's start with me, and then we can kind of peel back the curtain when you take over.
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
I'm ready for you to fill my holes with knowledge.
Hey, we're gonna fill in
Gagging
both sides
for
of the cannoli, you know?
Exactly.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
I've seen so many videos. There's that trend that's like when you need a break from work, but you don't smoke, and someone goes out and they like take out like a carton of cigarettes, but it's something else, and they do a thing.
Oh.
I've seen that done with a cannoli like 4 different times, and it makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, honestly, the one guy who like the way he whips out the piping bag,
Yeah.
like he's twirling a gun and doing like a trick with it. It was awesome. He like swings it by the twisted
Yeah.
end and just fills both ends in like 2 seconds.
And then he pulls out a powdered sugar
Yes,
from his
he
jacket,
actually-
and yeah.
So good.
Anyway, enough recanting Instagram reels. So to talk about Roswell, we have to go back to 1947. In June or July is usually when people talk about it. So
There's a time of year for discussing it.
Well, now, I don't want to
We're a little
necessarily...
early
it's
this
Roswell
year.
season.
We put up our decorations a little early this year.
I don't necessarily want to jump in instantly, but there does seem to be a reason why the internet will say June or July.
yeah, well, that might be what I'm talking about here,
Okay,
Kyle.
okay.
So
This is a round table.
a lot of things like to set the table, the in canonically terms, the modern age of UFO sightings and stuff begins with Kenneth Arnold on June 24th of 1947, who is a guy that saw some bright lights out at the window of his plane while flying near Mount Rainier. So this brought UFOs fully into the cultural conscious and like made it so it was like a newsworthy subject. So people were already primed for UFO content and stuff when that happened. And then we got the crash at Roswell, which was the next kind of thing in this timeline. Kyle, do you have anything you want to add?
The only thing I would elaborate on that is that we have this original sighting on the 24th of June in 1947, and it cannot be understated that after Kenneth Arnold's story, there were hundreds of sightings of UFOs that followed in the wake of his publicity. You have up till like 1952, we've talked about how this is like the golden age of UFO sightings and stuff and reports. So it's a huge deal after 1947, this idea of flying saucers, which was the term coined possibly by accident surrounding his sighting. That's all I want to add.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. Like Kenneth Arnold is a landmark in ufology. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the story of Roswell is the story of a crash. It is debris found in fields from a farmer. A local rancher named Mac Brazel is supposedly one of the people that found this crashed objects. It was various shards of metal, wood, and fabric. With some of them with what he considered hieroglyphs. It was how they got referred to. There was like kind of etchings and writings and stuff on it that was not English. And he reached out to the army in the nearby area, and a man named Colonel William Blanchard kind of came in and did some of the early stuff. And this led to I did an episode a while ago about crash retrieval where I talked a little bit about this, but there's a guy who's kind of the head of the crash stuff. His name is Marcel. His son actually wrote the book on the crash retrieval stuff, which that came out a lot later. But early on, it's a story of, it's basically crash stuff on this ranch. There is a second site that some people forget about. Like there's a second crash site that you don't get as much information about until later. But so the rancher, Mac Brazel, contacts the sheriff, who has him contact the Air Force, which leads to all of these people coming in and doing the crash retrieval stuff. And that's where Marcel comes in. So they basically come in, take up all the material, and haul it off to away from everything. And that leads to people kind of getting suspicious about it. But it's hard to say, like, we think of Roswell as this major event in ufology now. In 1947, this kind of blew over pretty quickly. It was in this sweeping thing with, in the wake of Kenneth Arnold, but Roswell as like an event doesn't really become the hallmark UFO case until the 70s, which is where like a lot of the actual extraterrestrial theories and stuff start. Because like it really goes over very quickly in 47.
Because there's just so much stuff like that in the papers.
Yes,
like everybody has a alien landing in their yard.
It's one of hundreds of cases from the time period.
Here. I'll jump in with a question.
Go ahead.
This is a round table, right?
Yeah.
Is Variety posting this on their YouTube? That's a joke just for me. They do round tables with people from movies.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sure. I'm with you.
So, do you guys remember Balloon Boy?
I do, yes.
And
How could I possibly
Falcon
forget
Meanie?
Balloon Boy?
what a fucking sensation Balloon Boy was, and how the world stopped for Balloon Boy.
I love Balloon
Day
Boy.
I
Do you
breathed
remember
baby
when
dust.
That's such a fucking obscure reference, Garrett. Do you remember when Falcon's mom went on TV and farted out of nervousness? Anybody else remember that, or is that just me?
No.
There's
I
a whole
remember when
interview.
he threw up.
Yeah. I think it may not have been Falcon. It may have been like his brother who throws up on live TV or whatever. Yeah. But there's an interview where Falcon is with his parents talking to news folks, whatever, newscasters, whatever the fuck, interviewers, right? And
TMZ.
something. I don't know who it was off the top of my head, but they're like talking to the parents, and the kids are there, including Falcon the boy.
Falcon the boy.
Falcon
It's like
the
a
boy.
superhero sidekick.
So he's like there, and the parents are like, I can't remember what they ask them, but it leads to Falcon very clearly on the microphone during this interview going up to his mom and dad and saying, you guys said we did this for the show.
Yeah, I remember.
And then the mom goes, the mom or the dad, one of them goes, yeah. And there's a long, quiet pause, and then you just hear a and it seems to have been his mom passing wind. So
You humiliate on live TV.
I don't
and
believe
then you
that's
fart.
not doctored.
I don't think I'll find it for you, but like
I think that's doctored footage.
maybe.
I
There
think it's
is
a
no
smear
way
You-
that happens and you don't immediately go home and kill yourself.
Well,
You're on
look,
national TV, your kid rats you out, and you fart.
look,
Hopping off a
I-
bridge 2 hours later.
I'm making it sound like a way more clear-cut fart than it is.
Well, you would.
Well, I can't replicate the sound off the top of my head with my own mouth, frankly. But
I'd love to be just very clear on this. I regret bringing up Balloon Boy.
oh, well, okay. Anyways,
Listeners at home, I'm sorry.
look, you just happen to be in the Zoom room with two people who are deeply enamored with the Balloon Boy incident.
No, you're enamored with a clip where someone farts.
No, I'm enamored with Balloon Boy, and I just thought the fart thing was funny.
Look, he's a man of many interests, Jules.
Oh my god, I can't.
I think
right.
everything involving Balloon Boy was hilarious, including when they briefly thought that maybe he had
That he
slammed
was
in the ground
dead,
at
that he
300
had
miles per hour.
That's where the day I breathed baby dust comes from.
Leaving a child-sized crater in the earth.
It's so fucked up. But, he's fine, and I think he's like in aviation now. So it all led to a beautiful career. I made that
Hell
up.
yeah.
That's not true.
He pilots
Yeah, you could've fooled
planes
me.
now.
All right, I'm gonna rein this back the fuck in.
Yeah.
I won't say my thing.
Oh, you had
No,
a
say your thing.
No!
Please, I want to hear what
I
you have
thought
to
it
say
was the
Balloon
joke
Boy.
about variety.
my
So
God.
did I.
I was just trying to get that in. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I had a 2-part question that was like a
Go
real
ahead.
question,
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
then I don't know. It doesn't feel worth it now.
No, it's worth it.
First, was it that big of a deal locally in the places where it happened in the 50s when there would be alien sightings? Did shit go like, holy shit, and everybody drove by and everybody talked about it? And if you went to the diner, the waitress would be like, did you hear about that alien crash?
I have some information on that. So
I do
What's
too.
part two? And
Because
we'll,
basically, I was going to just say, would you like to live through a time when you thought that aliens were crashing all the time, like, and that aliens were going to come, and that was like a thing, or would that freak you out? And you're kind of glad that we are more, I think, more skeptical now about stuff like that. Like Balloon Boy turned around really fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so I feel like it was like this big circus that was kind of fun to follow on television.
Yeah.
It's bad to say that about like there was a kid in danger potentially,
Sure.
but it's like it was a circus that was being televised for entertainment. And I just am like, I think if I thought if I lived in the 50s and I thought that the articles about that were real, that would scare me. I'd be scared.
There's a lot of so I don't want to like step on Nile's version of the story too much, because talking about some of that stuff maybe colors the alien concept of Roswell, right? But I think the big important thing that we have to say right now, so nobody forgets, is that we're in the Cold War. So it's not an alien thing as much as it is are Soviets secretly invading us. That's a big
Yeah.
part of it.
It almost feels like the alien stuff sometimes is like a lighter reprieve from the Russian nuclear threat.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a fanciful thing that you can get lost in while this other more serious thing looms over you. Because there were papers at the time that put out articles. Like immediately there was an article that was like a UFO crashed in Roswell. But by like the next day, there was an alternate theory provided by the military, which you don't get the full info until later. But it's basically that it was a crashed weather balloon. So there's an article like the day after Roswell happened where an article is like the hype from yesterday basically was wrong. It was actually just a weather balloon, and like recants the story immediately. But then there is another narrative where there's a general or a lieutenant. There's a guy named Blanchard, who became kind of obsessed with it as an alien thing. So he's in the military. So he's like talking to the PR department to put out stuff about it being like. So there was still some alien stuff in there, but in a lot of ways it got recanted very quickly in the public eye. So this one, people just kind of moved on as stuff continued to happen, and other alien stuff happens, and the Cold War looms. So it doesn't stick around in the public conscious that long, but it is a talking point for a couple days. Now, in terms of me, I don't know if I really want to live under the threat of alien invasion.
It's scary, right?
Yeah.
It's scary. When it's a thing where people are like having cheeky fun talking about it, I'm like, if a newspaper published that there was an alien in my neighborhood,
yeah,
the newspaper said it,
yeah,
I would shit my pants and move.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to work. Like
I would be like, and we're all hunkering down, right? And
yeah,
where's the bomb shelter?
I think a lot about like something like Arrival, where something alien just comes down and then just lingers, and you don't get anything for a long time. You just have to live next to something that you don't understand.
It's terrifying to me.
And it is like, oh, that would just fundamentally shift how I view the world and how I feel, and like probably make me have to go through some sort of crisis of conscience before I can like move on with my life, you know?
Because you want to fuck the aliens.
Exactly. Only the big ones. Only the like...
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Boy. We're going to have to unpack that at one point, Nile. Do you actually mind if
Would you fuck E.T.? It's a round table, right?
Yeah.
Let's go around. Would you fuck E.T.?
I'm going to say no. Like,
he's going to call you Elliot. He only knows a couple words.
Like, imagine the noises he's making. One.
I think I said in a previous episode, and it remains the same, that I would grab him by his like little turkey neck and just whip him around like a flail. So the thought of fucking it is non-existent in my mind.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Garrett.
Wow.
But I know Jules says that E.T.'s shaped like a friend, which... But we've gotten into this before. When I was young, I was terrified of E.T. I was so scared of E.T.
And see, this is what I'm saying. Aliens are scary.
Yes. I think that was that fucking Peter?
It's Izzy.
Oh, hey, what's up, Izzy?
She wants
what's
up on the
the
couch.
secret fifth guest?
Yeah. I like anytime you have Garrett on, you also have his cats on.
Yes.
It's a package deal.
Yeah.
So the thing that I would add to this discussion is that the alien aspect of this really takes a little bit of time to congeal into a popular cultural interpretation of UFOs, right? Like at the beginning, it's not necessarily aliens, which, like, again, I really don't want to poke holes already in Nile's thing where, like, Roswell
Aren't you supposed to?
That's the whole thing.
You keep saying not poke holes, but shouldn't you be
Okay, I
taking
guess
turns
so.
saying your versions of things?
That's fair. So the thing that I would point out is that it's not aliens initially. And Roswell does not become part of alien mythology until quite a bit later. And like you said, Nile, it's in the 70s that they start actually talking about it again in with some fervor, but it is 1980 where Bill Moore writes the book that cements it in the alien story forever.
So you start with in 70, what is it, 78,
Is this
I think?
the interview with Stanton Friedman?
No, The Day After Roswell by Philip J. Corso. His book comes out and kind of births a lot of those theories, and then like Bill Moore and everybody comes in and like they nail it down. But like what?
Day After Roswell's in the 90s.
Do I have the wrong? I have the wrong thing listed here. Where's my 70? There's a book in 78. Sorry, you're right. I was thinking of Leonard H. Stringfield's Situation Red: The UFO Siege.
Right, Stringfield. Okay, so he's one of the UFO researchers, along with Stanton Friedman, who get interviews with Marcel. Right?
Yeah.
And that's where, I mean, you can tell me from your perspective, is Marcel one of the main guys who was a key witness to Roswell, who is going around saying it's aliens?
Yeah.
Interesting, because that's also what I found.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It is. Marcel is a guy that we're going to have to dig into a lot more in a future podcast, I think.
Do you mind if I throw a couple more things at you, just to embellish on the stuff you've already talked about? Because
yeah, go ahead.
Everything you said is accurate. We also, so you mentioned how Colonel Blanchard is the guy who's sort of like manning a lot of this, and he. The other thing I wanted to mention about him that I think is an interesting fact is that he was the commanding officer for the 509th Bomb Group, which is the first and only atomic bomb strike force in the world. So, you know, Enola Gay, Fat Man, Little Boy, it's like that all that stuff. He is part of that, and that is sort of Roswell is where those operations were sort of being manned, right? And on top of that, we also have General Roger Ramey from the U.S. Air Force, who is the guy who then reaches out to Jesse Marcel, who is from the 509th Division, as an intelligence officer. And he sends Marcel, and Marcel summons a senior counterintelligence agent named Captain Sheridan Cavett. And those three are the ones who are supposedly at the forefront of the Roswell findings. But then there's another guy named, Rickett. His name's Rickett. And
Ralph
Rickett. Sergeant.
No!
This is
Rick and Ralph, you fucker!
Oh,
that was the most pained no.
I'm sorry. I didn't make the connection.
Agonized.
I was so.
That's why we're here.
I was so deep in the Roswell tank. This guy's name is Sergeant Lewis, quote unquote, Bill Rickett.
Get him!
And
Get his
dumbass
ass.
nickname.
Fucker.
So I just want to point out Rickett, Marcel, Cavett, and then of course the original the farmer from the ranch. These are the initial key witnesses to the stuff that went down at the Roswell investigation. Brazel. Oh, sorry, my bad.
I have a question based on how you both have exposed this information.
Yeah.
Did the guy who initially found the thing think it was an alien?
He thought it was a strange metals that he didn't.
But he said it was alien hieroglyphs on it. Did he say that? Is that in the paper when it happened, or is that retroactively added to it?
The hieroglyphs were part of the original thing.
Okay, that's what I was curious about.
I would also add that when they talk to him, because Nile already kind of mentioned this, but there's multiple different articles. And retractions that are like instant, like the same day. And they at one point talk to, how do you pronounce it? How did you say his name was now? Brazel?
Brazil.
I honestly don't know, but it's Brazel.
Brazel. Brazel. I in my mind
Rio
I was
de
calling
Janeiro.
him. In my mind I was calling him Brazel.
Sure.
And there's in one of those articles, he does say that didn't come from no damn weather balloon. Something to that effect. So I don't
he's
know.
Hopping mad.
I don't know if at this point he's saying aliens, at least not publicly, but he is not sure, as far as we can tell, what it is.
He doesn't like the official story, which is a weather balloon thing that crashed. Later, you find out that it's Project Mogul, which was actually a testing balloon sent up to try to be able to accurately detect when Russia was going to send nukes. So it was literally a nuke spotting balloon. That the official story is that's what it was, and they were hiding it because they didn't want anyone to know they were working on that stuff in the Cold War. But one other note I will take about the turn in Roswell. The more paranoid alien dissection, alien invasion kind of side of Roswell doesn't start until after Watergate. After basically, like, Watergate is a big turning point in public consciousness and conspiracy because it was when people started to realize that the government wasn't always acting in their best interests on a very public level. And so that's when you start getting a lot of these things where it's like they're really hiding things from you, and the government is actively has people in there trying to pull the wool over the public's eyes. A lot of that's the paranoia side of conspiracy really begins with Watergate, and that then the turn in the public conscience. So that's when a lot of these books start coming out. You get the UFO conference in 78. You get the books in 80 that Kyle was talking about, Bill Moore and everybody. And all of these people are operating now post-Cold War in the post-Watergate era. And that's the change in things.
Gosh, I'm trying to figure out where to, like, from which angle I should just, like, mercilessly attack you from. I'm really thinking about it. I will say I had never seen this before. This is a very weird thing, but, like, one of the things that people talk about, you mentioned the hieroglyphs, right? On this, like, I-beam that's recovered from the site. And it's, I think, by far one of the weirdest things that people talk about. And what the sort of basic explanation that I have seen for this is that they were basically utilizing this tape material that was basically cheap material from a toy company, and that the symbols were not anything weird. It was just that they were like these purple and pink flower symbols that were just specifically used on this tape from this toy company. And because of a shortage of supplies, then they just used that as these, like, corner reflectors or something on these different, things that they were crafting, whether it be Project Mogul or whatever. Just a little thing that I found, because a lot of people will do this thing where they'll like dive deep into interpretation of the symbols, and even if they're not trying to say they're alien in origin, they'll be like, is it some coded message? Like they'll continue to do some really weird conspiracy stuff with it. The simplest explanation I saw is that basically it was due to shortages. They used toy manufacturing tape.
Yeah, so. And I really love you'll find people trying to, like, almost like recreate an alien language from the symbols they think were on the Roswell stuff. And it is, as far as I can tell, what Kyle just said is 100% true. It's just tape that a toy company had left over.
If you want to see the tape, it's in the that documentary.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, Saucer, Spooks, and
They show
Kooks.
a picture of it and they line it up with because it's kind of you can get why someone would think it's a language.
Yep.
Because it is all faded and fucked up, so the pattern isn't complete. But when you see it laid over the pattern, it's like, oh fuck!
Yeah.
They got your ass.
God damn.
How are you holding up, Garrett? You worried that your alien belief may be faltering a little or anything?
No, it hasn't been challenged one iota.
Yeah, I didn't really think so.
He's a true believer.
I know what I've seen.
I mean, to be completely honest, the problem with Nile and I trying to do this topic from the way that we're doing it is that I think we're both very much in the enthusiast camp versus the hardline skeptic and the true believers. So
Yeah.
we're both on the same page, I think, with this story so far.
Yeah.
I love it because at the very beginning, I will just say, Kyle said, I want it to be a round table and for us all to talk. And then he's shit-talking you like it's a debate. Every time he goes to talk, he's like, I'm going to fuck you up.
I guess.
And I'm like, it's a
challenge.
I don't think that's how round
Yeah,
tables
we did a debate for what, 200?
I guess I don't. Yeah, we did. I guess I don't know what a round table is. Like, were the knights of the round table all like kicking each other's asses with like facts and
Yeah.
It
logic?
was like Fight Club.
all the
Yeah.
time.
My
The round
bad.
table was actually the squared circle.
I don't know. I don't know why I was like I have to. I guess it's because I'm like on a different path, but like
But
they're
you
all going
could
to converge
just as
at the
easily
same
be
point.
like, and the other side of that is I
Yes,
have this like
that's
background
fair.
information.
You're right. That's I'm sorry.
Instead of being
Kyle.
like, here's why you're a dumb bitch.
I didn't say that.
Look,
I would never say
this is
that.
the thing.
You implied
On
it.
my-
One of Kyle's go-to comedy bits is being aggressive and
Mike.
confrontational.
That's
and
true.
I understand that, and as his comedic partner of almost 10 years, and so I don't take offense to it. I know that that's just his way. It just his
Comedic
way.
Just lay back and
partner-
take it.
Comedic partner of 10 years and life partner for longer, to be honest, Jules. I hope you understand that.
I think I'm on the record on this podcast that Nile, before we got married, was already more married to both of you
yeah.
than we will ever be.
In fact, we had to do some pretty crazy paperwork shit for you two because Nile and I were common law married at the time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we had to get a common law divorce, which is a real hassle.
Yeah, that was
In a way, it's sadder than a real divorce.
Much harder, too. Like, you'd be surprised. Niall, I really don't mean to attack you like that. I don't know what is wrong with my brain, so I'm gonna shift into roundtable mode and be more agreeable, but also
yeah.
fuck you.
So, yeah, fuck you too. So when the alien bodies that were found at Roswell that actually happened and were for sure found there, when all of that stuff was hauled off, all of the stuff was whisked away to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, which. For those in the know, that's where Project Blue Book was helmed out of eventually by one J. Allen Hynek.
Hold for applause.
You know, I've been there by like 7 times.
Really?
Yeah, I used to be a member of their They sent me magazines
Hell yeah. Wait.
Why do they have magazines?
because they have a huge Air Force museum.
Oh, sure. And did you learn a lot?
Yeah, they showed me the alien.
See, and this is why he knows.
That's why I had the membership.
It turns out all you have to do is ask.
It's like $25 a month, and boom, there you are. Yeah, these ones, Zeta Reticuli.
Yeah,
Oh, Niall, can I tack on a funny fact about
please do.
Brazel, Marcel,
Brazil.
and Cavett? Brazil. I really love this little fact where I actually wrote here a timeline of events over the first couple days or so of Roswell. And one of my favorite little things is that in one telling of it, here's what's fucked up is depending on which one of these motherfuckers you talk to or read as a source, you get a different story, by the way. But in one version of the story, which I believe is coming from, I know that it's sourced back to a ufologist named Kevin Randall, who has appeared on this show before.
Never trust a man with 2 names.
Yes. Wait, that's most. Wait, no, I guess I have
2
3.
first names.
2 first names. Oh, I see.
You have 2.
That's
Your
sorry.
first and your middle.
Randall is not spelled Randall, by the way. So he does kind of he's 2 first names passing because it's actually Randle.
He has 2 first
Oh,
name
okay.
privilege.
Okay.
But okay, so here's my funny little tidbit is that in one telling of the story on the sort of first investigation at Roswell is Brazel, Marcel, and Cavett go from the police station where, materials being examined and stuff, and they're going to be taken to the site of the supposed wreckage, but they don't make it back to the ranch until nightfall. So they just stay at this old ranch house that's near the property called the Hines House. And there, I can confirm for you, they did eat cold beans.
Interesting.
But
and is this part of the official record?
I think so. I mean, it's in one of the tellings of the story, and I believe this version of the story is from Brazil.
Did they eat Heinz beans, though? Were they Heinz?
Oh,
banned?
Heinz in the Heinz house would be sick, but I don't know that. But
Let's get it on the
Cold
record
beans
right
in
now.
the Heinz house.
that's
Title of my self-help novel.
that's the weirdest title
Cold
for
beans in the
self-help.
Heinz house and other things I won't tell my husband.
It's also at the Heinz house where they basically, like, Brazil has stored some pieces of the wreckage, and Marcel has a Geiger counter and doesn't detect radiation on any of the wreckage stuff. So just wanted to throw that fun. I mostly wanted to tell you about the beans. So
Yeah. That's the more interesting fact.
We love a good bean fact.
thank
Now,
you.
I'll go through some of what people who believe in the extraterrestrial theory here. Here are some of the things they cite as evidence of said theory. I think this is a good place to go. So they talk about the witnesses of the crash materials describing them, quote, as not of this earth. And if you believe in the ones that talk about bodies, they are described as non-human bodies as well. But yet again, bodies starts in the 70s and early 80s. There's also the idea that the debris that was found there had like a memory metal effect, so it could like shape shift almost, and like you could bend it into a shape and it would stay. And they talk about that as being not of this earth, of course. Then there's also the suspiciousness of how quickly the story got retracted and turned into a weather balloon thing, which is like, it's at the time it quelled things, but in years past, like time has marched on, people see that as a suspicious thing and evidence of a cover-up, because anytime you have something like, there was barely time for tests to be done before the retraction came out. So it's seen as suspicious that the government moved in that quickly, scooped everything up, removed it from the state, and then put out an official story with a retraction on the alien side of things. So there's also then, after this, you get into the more out there ones, such as the supposed alien autopsy footage that we have that is, of course, not from Roswell at all, but you get that, like, there's that special from the 90s that has the alien autopsy caught on tape or whatever that people say is from, like, the Roswell bodies, which is totally false. But then there's also the rise of the Majestic 12 documents. Is like, the Majestic 12 documents are built in part around the myth of Roswell and the aliens found in Roswell, and like the craft specifically crashing down, leading to us getting these alien technologies.
I'm gonna jump in, and Jules, you
do.
kind of looked like you perked up when you heard Majestic 12. Maybe I'm misinterpreting.
I'm horny as fuck for the number 12.
Well, okay. So, Garrett, are you familiar with the Majestic 12 documents?
Of course.
Okay. Here's the thing. We can't. I should briefly mention here that the Majestic 12 stuff, these documents that were sort of put out into the world of UFO research through people like Bill Moore and Linda Moulton Howe. Moulton Howe being the woman who did A Strange Harvest about cattle mutilation, the documentary, and all that. These, we pretty well know by now that the Majestic 12 documents are total hoax. You know, we in Jules and Saucers, Spooks and Kooks, they talked about this a lot. It's one of those things where like I wrote somewhere in my notes here, I was like, I don't know whether I want to relitigate Bill Moore, because he's come up on the show many times now whenever we're talking about the spread of disinformation in the UFO community.
Because he's always running his fucking mouth.
Yeah,
You can't shut the fuck up.
I don't have it with me right here, but I actually have a T-shirt depicting, like, I want to say it was like a pamphlet or a flyer, but it's artwork that was used for the 1980, I'm not going to get the date right, the symposium for MUFON, where Bill Moore went and declared the truth about his his work on ufology, where he was like, I have been deliberately feeding people misinformation with Air Force intelligence, and then we get back to Rick Doty. These are all things that we've talked about on a number of occasions throughout the history of It Gets Weird Now. Suffice to say, these are this is probably one of the big things that puts a big fat bullet in the back of the head of Roswell.
Yep.
Because the Majestic 12 documents really flesh out so much of the conspiracy theory, alien, human, hybrid, all the aliens working with the government stuff. Like, it's well known to be a hoax. So
literally, the Majestic 12 documents are based around a committee that handles the fallout of the crash at Roswell.
Right.
Like, Roswell is the foundational part of the Majestic 12 documents, which is one of the most consistently pushed disinformation ops of the past 50 years.
Yeah, which, something happened at Roswell, right? But the existence of something like Majestic 12, you can basically trace back so many conspiracy theories surrounding Roswell back to these documents. And then what I was sort of discovering as I started to try and move closer to the actual event itself, when you start looking at, Sergeant Rickett and all these guys, Marcel and Cavett, these intelligence agents, when you start looking at them, these people who were witnesses to the site, you start to realize that these people are also completely shady and lying almost definitely. Which was even the opinion, Stanton Friedman who is a UFO researcher who, you will see in, UFO Cover-Up Live, and he was in Saucer Spooks and Kooks. He's one of those guys. He's in the UFO field, but even he was coming away from people like Cavett saying, I think this person is not telling the truth. So what I kind of found on my end, other than one theory that can't be proven that I thought was really interesting, is that the core people involved with the Roswell story, whose opinions then were disseminated to the media and then to people researching it, were liars.
Yeah.
That's the big thing, I think. So so much of, if you look at the Benowitz affair, which, Garrett, I don't know how familiar you are. I know Jules just saw the doc, but so Benowitz Garrett was basically a guy that Air Force intelligence found cataloging UFOs near his house, which turned out to be secret military projects, and they basically psychologically tortured him until he went insane and then died. So
excellent.
So they basically saw a guy who was interested in UFOs and just encouraged the belief in aliens. And Benowitz is the sort of key point in the ufology timeline in the United States that you can look to, but I think that there are some seeds of what happens when we fuck up a story with UFOs in Roswell too. Which it wasn't necessarily actively an alien related thing when it first went down, but it did retroactively become that, right?
It basically was the fountain point for the beginning of what people consider gray aliens, was some of the Roswell narrative. And that also retroactively is interesting. I know I'm the extraterrestrial side of this thing, but it's interesting how the most popular, most common form of alien comes from a story that we know is totally fucking hokum.
Yeah.
And so that the fact that the gray alien, which is the arc other than green, the green version of it, which is more cartoony, the gray alien is the archetypical alien, and that's totally fucing bunk.
Paul isn't real?
Paul, I'm sorry.
Paul is real. Paul's the one
Paul
exception.
is real, but it doesn't have.
I love
how do
Paul.
I explain this? Jules, Paul's okay. Paul's your friend.
Paul is real. Paul
We
is
took
strong.
Paul to a farm upstate.
Oh, fuck!
I mean, Knowing what I know about how Garrett feels about gray aliens and their big bug eyes, Garrett would, in fact, put a bullet through Paul's head.
Without question.
How many animals / beings can we have Garrett threaten in this one episode?
To be clear, Garrett loves animals, generally
I
speaking.
love critters.
But aliens are on another level for him. Is that fair to say, Garrett?
You could say they're a little extra.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I like a
I have another
critter.
question.
I see a little bug-eyed freak, and it sends visceral chills up my spine
primordial
that make me want to
fear.
go like ape mode on it.
Yeah. Yes.
Like I need to hit that thing with a rock and be done with it.
What's your question, Jules?
This probably isn't covered in the scope of what we're talking about today, so you can just tell me to shut the fuck up.
Never.
But
might.
would you say that the government intentionally spreading disinformation by referencing aliens is a thing that predates the stuff you're talking about? And they are picking up in a grand tradition of doing that from early days.
Are you saying
Or
predates?
is it a thing predates? You're talking about stuff in the 70s.
Yeah.
But there's also famous ones from the 50s that did happen.
40s
And the
even,
40s.
yeah.
But would you say that it predates that? Or would you say that it starts in the kind of alien fervor that you were talking about, where there were sightings and stuff?
I mean,
that they're just capitalizing on that.
like, that's kind of hard to answer because, like, modern ufology, like UFOs as we know them, begins basically with like Betty and Barney Hill and Kenneth Arnold and stuff like that. And I think there was some, like, there is some level of disinformation in Betty and Barney Hill even because of their ties with was it unions or was it like a communist party thing?
I believe that they were. Oh shit! You're asking me something I can't. It was some
they had
left-wing
ties
political, maybe the Democratic Socialists or something.
Yeah, they had some connections to left-wing politics, and because of that, got kind of smeared in the press a bit when the alien stuff.
That and
like
they were an interracial couple, which it's the
too.
50s, and you do connect the dots there, right? Like, but sorry, go ahead, Nile.
No, but like so, there has been some level of like disinformation or smear effort. Effective. They have always been together. The government has always been trying to control the narrative around these things back to like the very first instance that I can think of. But they probably also did other stuff not directly UFO or alien related before then in the same spirit. So
do you think that George Washington ever told someone that there were aliens at the White House?
I do think George Washington did maybe see a UFO in the Revolutionary War.
Oh my god!
I believe there is a George Washington UFO sighting story. Not to like step on your really good joke.
Fuck.
But
step on it. That makes it better.
Yeah, like there are I think at least 5 or 6 different presidents that have had UFO sightings or encounters of some kind, let alone the ones that have seen like ghosts.
Yeah, but
and
you
other
expect that kind of shit from James Buchanan. The idea that it's George Washington is really interesting.
George Washington was in the middle of chopping down that fucking cherry tree, and he stopped and he looked up at the sky and he went, "Holy fuck, or hark, an unidentified flying object." I couldn't think of like
That's exactly what holy fuck, hark.
That's what he said.
That's what I'm saying when I see a UFO. I'm always screaming, holy fuck, hark. An alien device.
Lin-Manuel Miranda. I cannot tell
God.
a lie. I saw an alien.
Oh fuck! And then Lin-Manuel bit his lip, sexy style.
I was gonna say, and then was it turned into a kite doing that?
Benjamin Franklin's kite was actually a picture of Lin-Manuel Miranda doing his lip.
That is bizarre.
true.
That is bizarre. People have not been able to explain that.
So I have one more kind of like weird aside to this whole thing that I want to talk about before I fully hand the reins over to Kyle.
Oh, weird
And
aside?
and it's
gets?
You could say it gets a little weird here.
Oh, he said it.
One of the more out there proponents of the extraterrestrial theory of Roswell is one Dr. Werner von Braun.
Oh my god. Oh yes. Oh my god, yes.
It's
Let's
always
go.
these fucking people.
Fucking Nazis.
So, Dr. Werner von Braun, in an interview conducted with Clark C. McClelland, that was only released to the public upon his death as per his wishes, which I'm glad we honored Dr. Werner von Braun's wishes in this matter. So this is just a quote of his recounting of, I guess that he, von Braun saw the site of Roswell and stuff and like was involved in it in some form or fashion. Here's what he was quoted as saying. The recovered bodies were temporarily being kept in a nearby medical tent. They were small, very frail, and had large heads. Their eyes were large. Their skin was grayish and reptilian in texture. He said it looked similar to the skin textures of rattlesnakes he'd seen several times at White Sands. His inspection of the debris had even him puzzled. Very thin, aluminum covered, like silvery chewing gum wrappers, very light and extremely strong. The interior of the craft was nearly bare of equipment, as if the creatures and craft were part of a single unit. So,
well,
Werner von Braun.
I'm glad we could get the Nazi perspective on this. I mean, really, I think he may have been a starseed, and we just didn't know it at the time. I bet you.
He's jerked up Werner von Braun doing light work.
Yeah, the alien like reached up to him and psychically said to him, "Return to the source, von Braun." You know, he's probably got some of that shit going on or whatever. Sorry, I guess the joke I should explain is that this is what internet neo-Nazis are kind of doing now. Is they're kind of like doing some starseed shit.
Have really taken over that area of like crunchy Nazism.
Yeah,
dude, I hate it here.
Dude,
shit
same.
Sucks.
I've been meaning to. I haven't done this yet, but there's a figure in UFO stuff who I think I discovered through Linda Moulton Howe to wrap it all fucking back together. Oh my god, Linda Moulton Howe, man. So she, I believe, had an interview with this person who I will maybe one day cover on the podcast, who introduced a term I had never heard before. She referred to herself as a vril dame. Something that is probably going to... Yeah, I see the look on Niall's face.
Wow, we're going full blown back to Nazi occultism.
Yeah,
holy
just
shit.
Nazi occultists
Jesus.
and aliens and starseed shit. I'm sure we'll find plenty more of that stuff to discuss in the next 100 episodes of the podcast. So I'm sorry. Was that this is your sort of high level overview?
Yeah, you can continue. You can.
Okay.
I'll pass the reins over.
Okay.
You can rip him to shreds.
Yeah,
why are
my
you
firmly held
encouraging me
beliefs-
now?
Get his ass.
No, this is honestly, I'm going to start with embellishments first, because the thing that I need to hit here is the whole order of operations with the retractions of stories and stuff. As in the stories that came out when Roswell initially happened. So on July 8th in 1947. So this is basically within the first couple days of the report from the farmer and it getting brought to the attention of like intelligence and military people and Air Force, whatever. So July 8th, Colonel Blanchard orders Public Information Officer Lieutenant Walter Haut? H-A-U-T? Haut?
Out.
To
Let's everybody.
Try it 5 more times.
Hoot.
Out.
Haut.
Hoot. This is just straight up a Pink Panther bit.
Yeah,
Is it really?
I mean, it's every Pink Panther bit.
shit.
It's one of the core parts of Clouseau as a character.
Yeah.
Well, this public information officer, Haut, is made to issue a press release on the incident, and this led to the publication of the infamous Roswell Daily Record article titled "RAAF Captures Flying Saucer on Ranch in Roswell Region." So when this story comes out, they straight up say, "We got a downed flying saucer." which, again, this is in the wake of Kenneth Arnold. It's not an alien thing yet necessarily, but Kenneth Arnold's story is out there about flying saucers and people are interested in it. That's happening right now. And their initial article says, hey, we got a fucking flying saucer. Then the exact same day, General Ramey's analysis, he like looks at the crash materials, I guess, and he identifies them. He's like over in Texas, and he's like, send me a sample right now. And he gets back to them. He's like, this is a fucking weather balloon. This is weather balloon material. And the same exact day as that initial article, they do a press release saying, hey, actually, we fucked up. It's a weather balloon. Sorry about the flying saucer fuck up. It's a weather balloon, by the way. And then this is also where I have in my timeline a note that, like, it's uncertain when Rickett and all these other agents plus the farmer go back, like who is with who. They give different accounts of this. And then on July 9th, 1947, Roswell Daily Record publishes another article with a headline that I absolutely love that says, harassed rancher who located saucer, sorry he told about it. Which, that's the article where you get him saying, like, you know, I don't think it was necessarily, you know, I don't know what this was, basically. And also, he says something like, nothing short of a bomb found on my property will get me to report stuff like this ever again. Where he has some animosity about it, right?
It has to be a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah. So many
it is
people regret.
Incredibly funny to think about, like, how many things that have just been, like, completely unexplainable have just showed up in somebody's backyard and they've gone, I'm not fucking dealing with this. There's no way I'm telling anybody about this.
Yeah, and it's another one of those things where
I'll be honest, I wouldn't.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
I wouldn't
fair.
want the hassle.
I definitely wouldn't want to report it to military or police. I would maybe get friends or family.
I would post it on Reddit and go, what is
this? Of course. I want to be the front page of Reddit. It's the fucking homepage of the internet.
Yeah. r/what is this, you know? I figured I would go ahead and give that a shot and just snap a pic and put it up there and see what they have. Exclusive Reddit, save me.
Reddit exclusive r/what is this? It's 1947 and some bullshit just landed in my backyard. Looks like foil?
We did it, Reddit.
And then a couple weeks later, I'm the farmer who discovered the flying saucer AMA.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's...
Am I the asshole? I found it down.
I was going to say, am I the asshole? I've been sending a signal into this guy's house to make him think that there are aliens.
Am I the asshole? That's like top comment is just the most upvoted, and it's just a single word yes. So like we kind of talked about the timeline of all this stuff, and I mentioned how weird it is. As far as I could tell, Brazel would never agree with the official weather balloon story, like I said. And here's the thing. Nile kind of already mentioned this. Once the Roswell Incident stuff was out of the papers, it pretty much died down. Like, the headlines stopped talking about it. The public forgot about it. Flying saucer fever, it, emanates forth from Kenneth Arnold's story and never loses its grip on America. It keeps going. And like you mentioned, it would come back in the 70s. We already went over that. 1980, that's when we get Charles Berlitz and William Moore's book, The Roswell Incident, which, like, I haven't read, but I happen to know that it's, like, the sort of basic thesis of it is that a UFO was, like, flying over, I want to say, like, nuclear missile sites, and gets struck by lightning, and that kills the alien pilots, and they crash. So,
don't you fucking hate when that happens?
Look, it happens to everybody. You get insurance for just that kind of thing. But man, I hate it when it happens.
It sucks. You hate to see it happen, especially to something so precious like extraterrestrial life.
Don't say that in front of Garrett.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Garrett did the lightning bolt.
Garrett did.
I was up in the clouds with a toga, just...
Garrett's got powers from that, like that guy from that one X-Files episode with Jack Black, where he, like, zaps him. That's Garrett.
The only episode of the X-Files I saw as a child.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
The episode that convinced Nile that everybody could shoot lightning from their minds.
But only if
don't
you
know.
listen to death metal.
Yeah. And play in
Only.
arcades.
And that's why you are how you are now.
Explains a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Explains a lot. So, for all of you and the people listening, Marcel, who we've been talking about, if you've ever seen the picture from the Roswell articles where it's the guy sort of kneeling down holding the foil-like substance, that's Marcel. Mm-hmm. And this is also...
I thought he was a shell with shoes on.
Oh. If you think about it,
Can you believe they made a movie of that shit?
Hey, that movie made me cry like I was a newborn baby. I wept at Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
my sister was obsessed with
I never saw
Marcel
it.
the Shell when we were young.
One of the most touching films I've ever seen, unironically.
I would watch it. It seemed cute.
So good.
Kyle likes animation. He'd get into it.
Kyle likes anything animated in any
Oh,
form.
God, what the hell? Not all of it.
I'm making fun of Nile.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fair.
you should.
Go off.
So Marcel, who is one of the key witnesses, who's in these photos, whose opinion on the event has circulated, this is the guy who would claim, he's one of the people claiming that this was extraterrestrial in origin. He's also an intelligence agent, just to be clear. Also, something that I thought was sort of humorous is that one of the other reasons that interest in the Roswell story was renewed was because the same year that they are doing these interviews with Marcel, with Stanton Friedman interviewing him and stuff, the National Enquirer apparently republished the original unedited story about the retrieval of a flying saucer from the original Roswell newspaper. They just reprinted that. Just completely unedited, the unretracted version about getting a flying saucer. So the National Enquirer also caused it to spike in interest. So again, 1980, that's Moore's realm of Roswell. If Roswell was beginning to be a thing in the late 70s, like in 78, like you said, Nile, but the Roswell Incident was kind of what popularized it and started to also, I guess, cement the folkloric stuff surrounding Roswell. So popularized it, but I think also especially this government cover-up of the existence of aliens and all that, that's all in the book.
And also, luckily, one of their big sources, a civil engineer named Grant Barney Barnett, was supposedly long dead. So he had been the one that actually found the alien bodies, and he and some students examined them on the site and stuff. So that's one of the things that people cite about this book is that a lot of the places that his information come from are basically unverifiable.
Yeah, it's not just that they're unverifiable too. It's that is definitely a key thing. There's also the fact that it's they have, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I remember reading something like they had interviewed 100 people, 60 of which were mentioned in the book, 30 of which actually are directly quoted or something, and then 3 of which actually had any material handling of Roswell related stuff. So it's the book is pretty suspect in many different ways. But it is also one of the big keys to unlocking the staying power of Roswell, I guess.
It's a good story. That's
a great title.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what brings it out. Is it kind of got picked up in the public consciousness. It has a good narrative, and even if the people weren't going through and checking the guy's sources as much because it just it was a cool story that people got swept up in.
Yeah, and this is mostly for Garrett because I actually don't think he's as familiar with this story, but I mentioned it a little bit before. Moore, the guy who wrote the book on Roswell, would also be key in making Paul Benowitz go crazy, which was an Air Force operation, basically. And and he also was the guy just disseminating shit like the Majestic 12 to the UFO. And for one of the things that he claims is that the reason he did this is he thought that even if he did the harm of spreading disinformation, he was getting a promise from, intelligence agencies in the military that he would get something in return, that he would get true things in return. So he claims that. And then there's this whole other fucking thing about how he's like fluent in Russian and like I think maybe lived there for a while, and they think maybe he was a Soviet spy, but that's neither here nor there. So basically what I'm saying is we've covered a lot of that stuff. Go check out our episode on UFO Cover-Up Live. I have a couple episodes on the CIA's interest in UFOs. We have the Benowitz stuff, disinformation. Look that up. We've covered it a bit. But that is key to understanding Roswell, I think. So if we're going to try and dig into the non-alien conspiracy aspect of this further, let's talk about the quote-unquote official story, which Nile already kind of mentioned. So in 1994, the U.S. Air Force released a report admitting that, oopsie, the weather balloon story is bullshit. They all these years later go, actually, the story that we put out is a lie. That was not true. This is where we get the recognition of, like you mentioned, Project Mogul, which was a secret project from 1947 to 1949. I have a whole thing here on how that functioned, but basically, like you said, Niall, they were trying to test for Soviet nukes. We're deep in the Cold War, and they're basically like saying that was the cover story at the time because we didn't want the Soviets to know that we were testing for nukes. So it's actually Project Mogul. Then there's a follow-up report in 1997 that I love, where this was released for the 50th anniversary of Roswell, I guess. And it says that the whole bodies aspect, the way that story came about, they claim that this was actually probably due to the fact that people had misidentified parachute test dummies. I've seen these, and I can see where that's coming from, although I don't know how convinced I am that that's why the story of alien bodies spread. But they basically say, like, people probably saw these mock parachute dummies that we would drop. You have to remember, this is in the days of the Cold War and the fallout of World War II, where they're doing, like, inflatable tanks, right? Like, they're doing operations that are, like, kind of weird to just, like, think about, but, like, they're basically operations to deceive the enemy.
But they did that in World War II.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. World War II is where a lot of the deception operation stuff starts to really manifest for the United States, who I've talked about this on other episodes before about how the people doing like psychological operations and intelligence work in the United States in World War II and up into the Cold War were fucking horny perverts for British spycraft. They loved it.
Everybody loves James Bond.
Yeah, they genuinely were like super into the way that functioned. They took a lot of notes. One of the craziest things I read was that there was a thing, a British sort of covert op called Operation Mincemeat. Has anybody heard of this?
Yes.
I have, yeah.
You have heard of Mincemeat.
They made a movie out of it, didn't they?
Yeah, there's a movie. I forget what it's called.
I think there might also be a Broadway show, weirdly.
Really?
I'm pretty sure I saw something at the Tonys last year.
What the fuck?
But I think it's based on the movie, which I think it's just called that.
It might be.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
go ahead, Kyle.
My point in bringing up Operation Mincemeat is like, I read about it in one of the things that I read, and they have a different reason for bringing it up, but I'm bringing it up to say, like, if you described, we made inflatable tanks and we used a dead body to, like, try and fool the Russians into thinking that we were going to invade this location, like, that sounds fucking crazy, right? But it apparently, I think, is an effective tactic, and but like you try to tell that to like a layperson, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Like it's so weird, right?
Yeah.
So
it was to distract the Germans, not the.
Sorry, I said Russian. I'm sorry, the Germans. I'm sorry. I have Russians on the brain.
The movie is Colin Firth and Matthew McFadden.
Yeah, that's why I've heard of it. There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
There you go.
Well, I did
2021.
look up, and the musical is like currently going on right now.
yeah,
What?
it was at the Tonys last year.
That's crazy. What?
Yeah. So
Wow.
we'll have to watch that movie. I would watch it.
Sure.
It's Colin Firth and Matthew McFadden. Sure.
I'm in.
In uniform. just
I
fucking
think
doing shit.
McFadden has a fucking mustache on him too.
Oh, yeah?
I'm pretty sure. I think that's why it's stuck in my head.
that would do it for you.
McFadden in a big time period mustache.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well, that's the kind of weird shit we're doing. Operation Mincemeat. Look it up.
And mincemeat isn't even meat. They're
That's
fucked up
true.
over
Yeah,
there.
mince. Yeah.
British spycraft is a lot like the Globetrotters playing basketball. It's like a lot of tricks and a lot of
Yeah.
just really dunking on people.
And we admired that for whatever reason.
yeah.
So we're willing to do weird stuff. And I think the point I'm trying to drive at is UFOs are not that crazy of a thing to utilize for these kinds of operations, right?
Yeah, I think like it's you can point out the fact that a lot of times when people will say the government is feeding false information about UFOs to people to kind of control the narrative and stuff, people will say, well, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Because it's badass.
That question is answered by the very fact that is exactly the kind of shit that they love to do. They love to sow the seeds and create this kind of hall of mirrors, the funhouse mirrors that you can't. Yeah, exactly.
Is that a nod to
People
my?
at the
Is that a nod to my boy James Jesus Angleton with Wilderness
Yeah.
of Mirrors? Or
I was trying to remember the phrase, and I was only coming up with funhouse, but it's wilderness of mirrors. Yeah, it's like they love it so much they have terms for it. So there you go.
what were
every
you gonna-
single person in the top echelons of our society are psychopath monsters
Yes.
who should be
Yes.
hanged.
Well, okay. Well, we're gonna have to bleep that. This is a comedy podcast. That, but
In a funny
basically-
way.
in like a comedy way, like a comedic Nuremberg.
He didn't say from
trials.
where.
That's
and
true.
not to death. They're just like
By the
just
hog.
like hang
For
out.
fun.
Yeah.
Whoo boy. Yeah, total freaks, Garrett. You have identified something that I've been really fixated on. Nile can attest for like a couple years now as like what absolute freaks intelligence and military are.
The early days of the CIA are wild.
And they probably stopped at some point being freaks. Like they really weeded out the freaks.
Yeah, well-
Everything's normal now.
Now we have FBI, CIA, CIA, or whatever the fuck. So I think it's really evened out.
So here's the thing that I'm trying to get to. One of them. So something else weird is happening in 1994 when these things are coming out about Project Mogul and all that. Cavett, the intelligence agent that accompanied Marcel and Brazel on the first investigation of the debris, is squarely in the weather balloon camp, and then Marcel is an alien believer. Both of these guys are just immediately contradicting each other, right? This would, of course, also contradict the official Operation Mogul story. So Cavett expands on a bunch of these details that would not line up with the Mogul explanation. He says it's a weather balloon. He says that's the actual real story. The U.S. Air Force in the 90s is saying actually that was the fake story. And so things are getting weird and complicated. To further complicate things, Bill Rickett, Cavett's aforementioned junior officer, would also offer contradictory statements about the Roswell investigation. So in his testimony, he and Cavett were the first military officials to check out Brazel's ranch, not Cavett and Marcel. Marcel was brought by Cavett later. This is the thing that I sort of mentioned earlier. And his story gets weirder where he says that 2 months after the Roswell incident, Rickett was supposedly ordered to assist Manhattan Project scientist and meteor expert Dr. Lincoln LaPaz in determining the trajectory of the Roswell crashed object. And I went and looked at this a little bit too. Getting to what's true about LaPaz's relationship to UFOs is quite difficult, and some claim he was a steadfast believer in the Roswell incident being extraterrestrial, and Rickett is one of the people who claims that. Others claim otherwise, that he was not into alien stuff. It's not even clear if La Paz actually conducted this research at all. There's a bunch of contradictory statements coming from all the key witnesses at Roswell, except sort of the farmer, right? Rickett would also suppose this story. It sounds like such bullshit to me, but it's one that circulates. So Rickett would also supposedly receive a call from Cavett in 1991 after over 4 decades of silence. They had not spoken. And this is how the exchange supposedly went between Cavett and Rickett, his superior officer. Cavett calls up and says, "Happy birthday, Bill. It's Cav, your old boss." And they kind of exchange pleasantries, and then Cavett says to him, "Have you been talking to anyone about what happened back in 1947? And Rickett says, yeah, there's this one investigator that I've been talking to. And Cavett's like, "Oh, I know that guy." And then Cavett says, "What have you been telling him? We both know what really happened out there, don't we, Bill?" And Rickett says, "We sure do." And then there's a pause, and Cavett says, "Well, maybe someday. Goodbye, Bill." And then he never hears from him again because Rickett would pass away in October of 1993.
Wow.
But this is one of those stories that just floats around in the hazy atmosphere of Roswell, sounds incredibly strange, and depending on your perspective, whether you're a UFO nut or a skeptic or whatever, it's just like it informs your understanding of what happened here, right? Now, this is the thing, this is the sort of conspiracy theory, quote unquote, that I really liked, that was fresh for me. This is a non-alien theory of what happened in 1947. What may have actually been going on. So this comes from former MUFON director, Mutual UFO Network, the former director and researcher James Carrion, and his book, The Roswell Deception, which I think I'm going to dig into very deeply in a future episode because it's very fun. So he posits a theory that U.S. intelligence agents may have been conducting an opportunistic deception operation around the events at Roswell in 1947. So, according to him, this could have served a number of purposes. Intelligence operatives were deeply concerned with what the Soviets were doing, what their intelligence was or was not aware of, and how information may have been leaking through Soviet spies, and how that functioned, what they knew. The Roswell Incident has a series of retractions and re-released stories, like I mentioned, even though there's a lot of core elements that stay the same. And the other thing that's crazy is sometimes they would even release a story and then release the same story with noticeable differences to a different paper. So,
sure.
In one example of this, the American press and the United Press were actually given 2 different press releases about the same incident. So here's Carrion in his own words. Quote, "These differences in the provided stories could perform 2 functions. First, it would allow code breakers to compare encrypted messages to each other when the multiple versions were communicated back to Moscow, exponentially increasing their book-breaking success." So what he's saying is, the Soviets are intercepting these stories that may reveal something about intelligence or the military in the United States and relaying it back to Moscow, but they're getting 2 different stories that then reveal some information about how their coding system works. He goes on and says, it also could serve as a feedback loop to ascertain where the Soviets were getting their news from, which would help pinpoint the location of Soviet spies. So think about how newspaper, the way they're distributed, it's geographically locked, especially at this time, right? So you could start to sort of maybe figure out the general location of where a spy is because of which story was leaking out back to Moscow. That was the idea.
Watermarking the text of the script so you know who leaks it. Yeah, sure.
And then he finishes by saying this. Lieutenant Warren Hout, I can't do this again.
Kyle's greatest enemy in this episode is this name.
The public information officer at Roswell Army Airfield dropped off the press releases at both KSWS and KGFL on July 8, 1947. But rather than each release being an exact copy of the other, there were significant differences between them. That makes no sense from a public relations perspective, but makes complete sense from a cryptographic gardening perspective. So they're creating fields in which they can spread soil and seeds of cryptography and then rake in the Soviets. So the differences found in these press releases are odd, and Carrion gets into those details. He says, these would be things like one press release identifies the parent organization of the 509th Bomb Division, the other does not. And then there was another release where they mentioned that the recovered disc was quote-unquote loaned to higher headquarters. And then the other release specifically says that the remains were flown to headquarters by a Boeing B-29 Super Fortress. So these are key details that are like faded in and out depending on the release. All these differing details could, like I said, serve as a way to break the codes of Soviet spies and reveal general locations. And he even has a thing here called the Roswell Deception Code Breaking Loop, where he sort of provides like a diagram of like how this stuff would circulate. So the deception planners, they plant the text by originating news stories that would be of interest to the Russians. A crash of a flying saucer in New Mexico. Then, one of the things that we don't have time to get into, but like he talks about how like a lot of these people at these different newspapers and magazines are sort of compromised by intelligence in one way or another. Like Nile, if you remember, Henry Luce was close friends with like people at the CIA and the FBI, and the Time magazine, for instance, was heavily compromised by intelligence agents, and they ran their stories through them. This is another thing that we talked about. I don't know how long ago, but it was, I think, in the Sidney Gottlieb series.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he says here, the AP and UPI pressmen are influenced or bullied into placing these news stories on the newswires, and he backs up these things in the book. Then you move to the next step. The news stories are transmitted within the U.S. and printed in these newspapers. Then part 3, these news stories are read by Soviet agents, and they could only send, in 1947, these encrypted telegram messages back to Moscow. So then step 4 is the telegraph companies. There's a thing called Project Shamrock, where they basically were they had struck, these intelligence groups had struck deals with the telegram companies where they were like, you're going to record and send copies of all telegram messages for like, I want to say decades. And you're going to give all that to us. So they basically had access to all these telegram messages, including whatever encrypted message was going back to Moscow. So then Moscow would take those in the final step and decrypt the telegrams, and then they would analyze this code and reconstruct the code books that the Soviets had used to create these messages. So that's the loop. And this is just one part of a 500-page book, by the way.
But that really goes to like the idea of like how the government disinformation stuff and like with aliens, like with the aliens, that started when aliens became a usable thing for them to do the stuff they wanted to do anyway. Like this stuff didn't start with aliens, but it quickly got grafted onto it because it was a usable piece of news information that the Russians and various other people would be interested in.
It must have been so exciting the first time that someone who worked in the government realized if you say something like kind of sexy and sensationalized, no one will pay attention to like the actual thing that you're doing. Yeah. That they could just be like, what if we, I don't know, said somebody fucked an alien?
Yeah, John Adams was really an innovator in this field. It started right from the beginnings.
Yeah, It does.
Like, oh fuck, we can like
Wasn't
say
there-
whatever the fuck we want, and people will talk about that, and they won't talk about all the actual shit we're doing. It's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, here's the thing with all of this, because like this all ties back into the Benowitz affair, Roswell, all this stuff. You can get lost trying to pinpoint any ultimate truth or like try and like suss out why they do this. There's pretty good guesses that like this, to me, this whole idea of the like cryptographic like decoding thing is very interesting to me, and makes more sense to me than aliens personally. But like you can
Tiptoeing
just
so carefully for me. I see.
I know. I'm sorry, Garrett. I just, for me, it's like it almost doesn't matter whether or not it's aliens at a certain point, because one of the things that you could sort of just look at this, an angle you can look at this from is like, is it literally just like not even specifically aliens, just that like stories of UFOs and aliens are like a really good way to just test the spread of misinformation? Some of this, is it done on a lark?
Let me take it a step further.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Sure.
To open your fucking mind up?
I would
brother?
love to.
What if it's not that?
Mm-hmm.
It's that they are so willing to say the stuff about aliens because they think if they are putting that out voluntarily, people will be skeptical enough about it that no one will ever be able to prove that there are aliens.
That is,
you see what I'm
look,
saying?
I do see what you're saying.
Confuse, if they put out multiple stories and they discredit people, and they over here they share information and over here then we'll never find Paul.
Yeah, look, the Greys are just an op to cover up for the reptilians and the little green men.
It's all entirely possible. There's truth doesn't exist anymore. It's 2026. Nothing's true anymore. So
we're in a post-truth world.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. To me, part of what makes me more cynical is the sheer amount of money that can be made in the space of telling people aliens exist. That's sort of the angle that sort of corrupts a lot of it for me too. Well, just like,
I know what you actually mean.
I know you know, but like also just consider the fact that like the current disclosure movement is a thing that has happened multiple times before in the history of UFOs. Even in the immediate fallout, like fucking Donald Kehoe was selling books off the back that like we're going to disclose the existence of aliens who are flying these UFOs, or I think he also had some Soviet angle stuff. This has been around for so long, and people who worked in the military or intelligence agencies have claimed whistleblowing powers and things like that for so long surrounding the idea of aliens. And then they get to, go on book tours and fucking conferences and stuff and make some money. And it could just, like you said, Jules, be in service of covering up the fact that it actually is just straight up aliens.
Right now is it's been around for so long because it's been happening for so long.
Secretly, without anybody ever noticing.
Here.
Yes.
Aliens seeded humankind. So.
Well, let me just put it
That's
this
also
way.
true.
Let me put it this way.
We're going to brush right
The
past what
Teenage
Niall just
Mutant
said.
Ninja Turtles live in the sewers of New York City.
True.
And
With
no
the
one
gators.
knows
Yeah,
that
it's true.
they're there.
And like a sentient rat
And
guy.
they buy pizza.
Yeah.
They go to pizzerias.
They wear a big trench coat and a hat.
Yes.
And yet nobody's exposing the truth there. So clearly they can sort of keep the Ninja Turtle secret in the ninja way in the sewers away from
so if
prying
that's
eyes.
possible,
Yeah. And it is.
and it's on the record.
It's real.
Yeah.
There's a great documentary about it called The Secret of the Ooze that if you want to learn more, you can look it up.
Hey,
But
open
so
your third eye.
this shit is possible is what I'm saying.
It's a little bit horseshoe theory, isn't it? In a way. Right? Like,
I thought you were just going to say it's a little bit horse shit.
I did too.
I'm used to that from Kyle.
it is also a little bit horse shit. No, it's so, I mean, I see your point. Here's the thing. UFOs and aliens are like a nexus that people can... Is everything okay? Nile and Jules are acting very strange. What's going on?
Sorry, there's someone screaming outside our window, and when we both made a face, they went, "You dumb bitch!" But they're gone now.
Oh man, did that make it onto the recording?
I don't know.
It probably wasn't
Probably
loud
not.
enough.
So the poignant thing I was gonna say is that UFOs and aliens are like this nexus that, like, whatever your like quote unquote personal truth, it can just revolve around it. And to me, to my perspective, which is the one that matters, right? That is a very useful tool for people who want to control the perception of reality and within the populace. Like that's not, I've said that in like the most paranoid fucking way possible, but I think you know what I mean, right? Like,
yeah.
It's a useful tool for perception management, right? So that's, maybe that perception management is being used to make sure people never discover the truth that there's aliens. I just doubt it.
Well, I mean, FDR did make a treaty with the aliens pretty soon
That's
after
true.
Roswell. So, like, I think that there wouldn't be a treaty if there were no aliens.
Yeah, have you ever thought about that?
That's a good point. I had not considered that, and I'm going to.
And
I think
JFK was killed because he was gonna disclose about aliens.
Yeah,
Listening and learning.
Yeah, you made some good points, and this unfortunately will be my last podcast. So, which I guess we did sort of establish. Garrett and Jules and Garrett.
We already knew that.
Jules
We're
and Garrett are
passing the
taking over.
batons. They'll take the next 500, and we'll see what happens after that.
Holy shit!
See if they take us both out back to the shed.
Just put them down. Yeah.
Fuck us.
How many? I want to go back through every Garrett episode and see how many times he's made a take you behind the shed and shoot you joke, because I think it would be over 50% of your episodes.
Probably.
It's a bit of a trope in your canon.
It's how I want to go, so.
And I'm always thinking about, like, when will be the opportunity, when will I have the opportunity to finally do that for him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a pact that when Garrett gets to a certain age, we will take him back behind a shed and shoot him.
You should make a Garrett and Jules bingo card that's like talked about a crater that a person made in the earth, talked about them being vaporized,
anything
talked about
juicing
fucking
horses.
them.
Talked about late night hosts.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are the types of things like they come up a lot.
That would be a good. I think you could do a bingo card for everybody on this show.
Yeah.
Honestly.
God, I don't want to know what's on my bingo
Ooh,
card.
let's think about what's on Nile's bingo card. So Godzilla's there, definitely.
That's a free
Godzilla?
space.
That's
Tokusatsu in
Godzilla's kind
general.
of a free space. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the modern era, sure.
It's that and Lone Wolf and Cub.
Oh wow.
I did that is a poll, sure.
Only real fans of the show will know.
Yeah.
What the hell else is on there? I'm trying to think, because there's got to be more juicy stuff.
You guys are having much, like, I don't want anyone to ever tell me what my verbal tics are, because I will then like be so focused on it going forward, and it will ruin the podcast.
It's actually, I think you're the least bingo cardable out of everybody. I have to
yeah?
say, you have jokes that you go to, but what you actually do all the time is really weird esoteric pulls that no one would expect you to say. It's like you will reference something where you just go, and why would you think of that?
Esoteric polls, something completely unserious delivered in the most serious monotone way. Also just like very surprising, out of nowhere dark joke. Is one that Kyle does on occasion,
And still delivered really flatly.
Yes.
Dark ass jokes that are delivered with such a casual, flat. air.
I sense that this is sort of tough for Nile to hear, but I'm saying these are good things. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
This is marketable.
yeah, yes. The key point here is how marketable that is. Nile is the most marketable person.
You have a
I know.
brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're making pins. We're making T-shirts.
Until we
all got Nile
refresh,
sayings.
we refresh the brand.
Sure. I think I'm gonna, in 2027, I'm gonna do the Cracker Barrel pivot, where I really make a really
You're gonna have that
ill-advised
triangle
brand
game?
shift, and then have to like really walk it back immediately.
I like that.
And see, that's the kind of
us.
esoteric pull that I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Cracker Barrel's not exactly
Sure.
an esoteric organization.
I mean, have you
Would
seen
you-
the? No, wait, no. What,
How
You'd be
often do you
surprised.
think about
Wait.
when they tried to shift their brand?
But also, Cracker Barrel does have. Isn't there a Cracker Barrel No, it's a Texas Roadhouse pentagram in Texas. There's
yeah.
a chain restaurant
Yeah.
that makes a pentagram, and I thought it was Cracker Barrel, but I think it's
That's actually the look they took the Roswell crash stuff and took it to that general in Texas and put it in the center of that pentagram, and that's how they were able to just sort of infest the.
That's how they came up with the idea of Texas
yeah.
Roadhouse.
That's
Yeah.
where they found the Colt. That's a fucking supernatural reference for those out there that watch the show.
Yeah. What?
There's a series of churches that make a pentagram, and at the center of them you find the mythic gun that can be used to kill the demons.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's pretty badass,
That's
actually.
pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
actually, it might not be churches. I think it's like whatever. Anyway, yeah. That's
So Roswell,
yeah. Roswell that ends well.
Garrett and Jules.
I was so proud of that for like 15 seconds.
Garrett and Jules.
And
what-
then the dread of it's something else.
you took it.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
it's in the back of your mind. You got it from somewhere else. Look, it happens. I fucking do. Do you know how many fucking years I went on this show making references that I was either consciously or not consciously aware of on multiple occasions that were just from Mega 64? It's a lot.
10.
Yeah, what year did you start doing this?
2016.
So from then till now?
Yeah. Yes.
You mean?
Yes.
How many years?
Yes. You want to talk about fucking bingo cards. I'll never forget one of my very good friends. I said some referential thing that I intended to be funny, and that friend looked me dead in the eyes and said, "I see we're at Kyle's Reference Emporium."
Oh my
And
god.
it cut me to
Fuck
my
them.
core. No,
Fuck them. No, I hate that.
no. They just thought I thought it was funny because they were not wrong.
I'm against it.
Oh well, I think there's some truth to it. I'm not offended if that helps.
I'm offended.
Oh, okay. Well, I do like referencing.
Jules is
things.
freaking pissed.
As a person who like 90% of my personality is making references, I would probably like fully kill someone for saying that to me. Like I just would leave.
This was a person who could make the comment and not make me angry. They made me laugh. So just
Great.
to be
Well, if
clear,
any of you ever say that to me, I'm gonna fucking kill
I'm
you.
not gonna say it to you. It was said to me. I know how it can cut. It's kind of got a couple. Whatever. You get it.
It's like those it's like that fish bait thing that when it goes in and digs in, when you pull it out, it can't come out
Yeah.
cleanly and it just leaves a big wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad hooked my mom with a fish hook once in the cheek.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Damn.
Not on purpose.
Because he was casting back and then
Yep.
that's horrible.
I saw it happen. Scared the fuck out of me.
Oh my god.
I didn't know what to
and that's why you are how you are.
Yeah, that was one of the many reasons why I am the way I am.
I almost Three Stooges Jules when we were disassembling a bed
Like
frame
poker in
recently,
the
multiple
eyes
times.
or like
no,
knock
with
her on the head and call
with
her.
a long metal
Literally?
object on my shoulder, and I
shit.
turned while talking to her and almost nailed her in the face.
I like had to
no.
duck.
We did a
Oh,
Three
no.
Stooges bit disassembling this bed frame. I'm not
It's
kidding.
true.
I'm glad it didn't happen, but it's also really funny to picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Roswell.
Yeah.
I mean, Garrett, Jules, how do you feel? What overall feelings after we went through all that shit? Like, I have so much more I could talk about. It should be so clear to our listening audience. This was a high level overview. We barely scratched the surface of Roswell. This is an intro episode for Roswell. So, jot that down.
I think it was a good intro.
Thank you.
Feeling incredibly disheartened.
Oh.
I
Look,
Feels betrayed.
borderline suicidal.
no.
It's actually really cruel when you think about it that you invited Garrett here to do this. To him.
Okay, when we
Yeah, to dash me against the rocks and leave
I
me
thought
broken and bloody.
Garrett, I thought it would be easier to take coming from friends.
yeah, for real. First of all,
well,
there's
you
that.
thought wrong.
I literally when we did the 2-part Nile on Skinwalker Ranch, You know how I did Skinwalker Ranch Revisited, and like the first episode was just like, here's the legend of Skinwalker Ranch, and then part 2 I was like, Garrett must leave the room.
Yep.
This is why because part 2 is basically like not meant to like actively debunk, but it was sort of to point out that like, hey, there's like non-paranormal, non-alien explanations for what's happening here, and I just can't subject Garrett to that.
Thank you.
But here
for
you are.
thinking of me.
I mean, look, I don't think this makes alien interest any less worthwhile, Garrett. I think that stuff's still interesting and fun. Roswell's just like... Sorry, I guess that's my roundabout way of still saying I think it's also bullshit. But
Yeah, he thinks it's cute that you still like it.
it's
Garrett.
cute that you like that shit.
It's cute that you're into it, but like,
I don't
kind
need
of
it like that.
Garrett, just since we're workshopping what our new show is going to be, I feel like the first thing that we can really get into this, because they've left so much on the table, because these two quote unquote skeptics have decided to take the boring side of all of these stories and
Yes.
to not look at life like as if there's whimsy in the world. And so
I think we're
what you and I,
reinventing.
yes,
I think this
we
is such
we
an
have a jester
uncharitable-
spirit.
We have the jester's spirit, and all things paranormal and supernatural are true, real, and good.
Because we have open hearts. And
The more
open
you believe in
minds.
it, the more it's real.
That's right. And so the podcast is about to get a lot better.
Yeah. 5 stars.
This is such an uncharitable reading of my perspective. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you've left me lying face down in the road in the rain.
We have to contend with the facts of the matter, you know?
Oh, your
Look, we're
superior
not-
facts and logic.
Look, aliens exist. They just didn't land at Roswell.
Yeah,
They were at a bunch of other places.
I have to...
Okay, that
okay.
that I can accept,
Here's the thing.
because the little alien, as I established, has had it too good for too long. So,
So true.
frankly,
Here's the
As
thing.
Tom DeLonge said, aliens exist.
Roswell is I think fucked up.
He's actually my favorite alien researcher.
Oh, Jesus
And
Christ.
I'm so glad
Award-winning ufologist.
because he's
fucking-
award winning.
Jesus. I felt my blood pressure go up.
I think he's a little bit Tom DeLonge in the tooth, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh,
That's good. Here's the
what
thing.
if tomorrow you woke up and there was a headline that Tom DeLonge died? Would you feel like you killed him?
I would do like a cool fist pump, and there would be a freeze frame.
That would be pretty sick, dude. Comedy podcast, by the way.
No, go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry, I interrupted you pissing all over Garrett's
I
dreams.
was
Go ahead.
not gonna do that. I was gonna do the straight up opposite. I was gonna say Roswell's fucked up, but I've encountered so many stories where I have no good answer for what happened here, and that leaves the space for aliens open 100%. If that's the perspective, it's fine.
That's what's going to let me sleep at night.
This is Roswell. I think is just totally compromised by fuckers.
I mean, the minute Majestic 12 gets in there,
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But David Icke, he's got it all figured out.
Well,
that's real.
let's. Have I ever told you both that I've seen a fully nude photo of David Icke?
That's awesome.
No, I don't think you've told us that.
I'll have to go see if
why
I can
why
find
have
that
you seen
again.
this?
He has some. It was in some
and only.
book. No, no. Some researcher. I have to go look up these names because I don't actually know. But it was a researcher who had a book that was like Scandinavian. So it's not in
That
English.
sounds right.
And in the book, there is a photo of him spread eagle, grinning, David Icke, fully nude. And I can't remember why.
I know why.
I can't remember
The way-
why.
The way you said that sounded like an introduction to a news program. Like David Icke,
Yeah.
fully nude.
Tonight at 10. Yeah. They got to put that after the watershed.
Picture
I'll
Keith
see if I
Harrison,
can-
spread eagle, fully nude.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
What does NPR say? This has been fresh air.
That's what everyone says on NPR,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Well, don't
because
they
it's
have
the
the
name
fresh
of
air?
one show.
Yeah, Terry
but
Gross.
everybody on NPR says that.
Jules just...
All Things Considered says it. Trying to remember other shows. My parents used to listen to NPR.
You guys should
occasionally.
start opening your show that way.
I think Jules wants to kick my ass.
I do. You think?
It's driving me crazy, but I'm getting some serious energies through the computer right now.
Dude, Jules wants to kick your ass so hard that you're going to taste boot leather.
Oh my god, come on. Treat me right.
And she's going to be
I'll
wearing
leave.
tennis shoes. I don't know where that.
Yeah.
That's what's so weird
Well,
about
she's got to
it.
put her
Yeah.
shit kickers on.
Explain this.
And then she kicks my fucking face. Explain this. So, well, hey, fuck, I guess we have a big question.
I think it's time. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So,
I haven't had a big question in so long.
I know. Garrett, we've missed you here on the show, and we've had many comments saying, where the fuck is Garrett? And we
Well, I was
tell
in that
people,
big
yeah, he's
hole,
in the
so-
trap. He's in the hole. He's we have not been able to get him out, and he's been there for a while. So thank you for finally coming out of your hole.
I actually had a big lunch, so could we do a small question?
Yeah. I mean, I get, yeah.
I could just try
Hey,
a little bite of your question.
There are no small questions, just small answers.
I mean, you can answer this in a small fashion if that is what you would like.
If you order a big question, I'll just take some of yours. I'll try it, but I'll just get a drink.
Sure. That's annoying for me, but that's fine. So here it is. You're visited by 3 ghosts.
Yay! That's my favorite.
These are the ghost of ufology present, the ghost of ufology past, and the ghost of ufology future. Of our 3 military intelligence agents who I kind of got into, which is, oh fuck, I have to get their names again. Marcel, and, oh my god, we're at Marcel, Cavett, and the third guy, Rickett. Of those 3, which one do you think best represents which ghost?
So the 3 that you couldn't even remember their names, you want me to assign them roles?
So we can kind of let me give you roles of kind of belief here.
I'm sorry, let me take my foot out of Kyle's ass. That was
So,
a good question.
I wrote their names
Marcel, Marcel, aliens are real,
Yes.
and we believe in them. Rickett is aliens are not real. This didn't happen.
Rickett is
That way.
aliens are real, but also to what extent they're real is unclear.
Okay, I was confusing Rickett with. There's another guy that starts with an R
And then-
that was a debunker. But go ahead.
Cavett's the one who contradicts the Air Force story and says it's a weather balloon.
Yeah. So for me, I'll start to give this to give some structure here.
I think Nile and I are going to have the same answer, but go ahead.
I'm going to say Marcel is future
Yeah.
because aliens are real and this happened. Present would be Rickett because aliens are real, but we don't exactly know to what end. That's how I feel currently in the present. And then past would of course be Cavett, who is a lying asshole. So he's the past is
The past is a liar.
far behind. Leave that behind.
So we're sort of, you're assigning roles based on the idea that these ideas are either we're leaving them in the past, it's what's happening right now, or it's what will happen.
Yeah, like
little bit, yeah.
you
So you don't give a fuck about the moral of A Christmas Carol, and you haven't really studied the text.
No,
Well, I wanted our
got you.
foremost scholar to take that tact in.
I-
I figured I would start with my my reading.
I also got you here because I did picture Marcel as the ghost of ufology future because he is the believer that aliens are real, and I kind of pictured him draped in a Grim Reaper cloak, and he's sort of pointing to a gravestone with your name on it and ufology on the gravestone, and a big banner above it that said "Disclosure Today." You know, like disclosure, UFO disclosure.
Sure.
That's
pretty good.
That's sort of what I'm imagining.
Well, I'd love to hear Garrett's thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead, Garrett.
Well, it's insane because that was the exact order I was putting them
Fuck,
into.
are we all gonna have
See,
the
that's
same
what I
answer?
thought, but no, because if I agree with the spirit of what you're saying, but if that's what you're saying, then Marcel is the present.
Okay.
Okay.
Because in the story, the point of the past is bad things happened that you learned the wrong lesson from.
Sure.
Okay.
And then the point of the present is to show him that out in the world, this is how people are living and this is how you should be living and you're not.
Okay, yeah.
And then the point of the future is
You're gonna fucking
he shows
die.
him a possible future
Where if you don't change.
unless he straightens up and acts right.
Oh,
but like
shit.
present is the one that you're supposed to be modeling yourself after.
So
Oh,
Marcel
so-
would be present.
Marcel is present, maybe. And
Yeah.
then Cavett is future, maybe.
Maybe.
Because he's the evil
Because it's
liar.
like it's kind of it's like it's future is supposed to scare you straight. Like
Right.
if you don't start believing in the spirit of this thing, then you will go awry and you'll die alone.
Okay, so Cavett is the future because if you live the liar's lifestyle and never believe in aliens, then you will never know the truth about aliens. And so you'll fucking dive headfirst into this grave, and here lies Kyle. He never believed in aliens or scored.
Yes.
So,
Okay, you cut out at the end there.
oh, you didn't hear my funny Beavis and
He made a
Butthead
Beavis
You
and
reference?
said
Butthead
something
joke.
about a grave and then you cut out.
That's okay. It was a Beavis and Butthead reference. We
Oh,
went to
good.
we stepped in my emporium real quick. So is that sort of your? I guess I don't want to put words in your mouth.
But yeah, if you think about genuinely, I love A Christmas Carol. Am I on the record about this?
Yeah,
it's
I
seriously
literally-
one of my favorite books, and I love every adaptation of it. And it's like to me, it's like the greatest story ever told.
I literally,
a
when
book?
Kyle and I were talking about the, we broke our cardinal rule a little bit here, and we talked about the big question ahead of time, and he pitched this like 3 ghosts thing, and I was like, oh, you do that because Jules loves the Christmas Carol and would have things to say about it.
The most iconic, like the thing that stays true across adaptations is when you go to the past, you show him getting broken up with because he got obsessed with money. And when you're in the present, the ghost of Christmas Present takes him around to people who are celebrating Christmas, who are actually like keeping it in their heart and being kind to each other and stuff. There's other stuff too, but like the point of it is to say like, you see this guy that you don't pay enough money, he has warmth and the love of family, and so he's richer than you will ever be. That's the idea of that. And then in the future, they show the main one is he takes him to his own grave. But the point of he takes him to his grave isn't just that you'll die. He takes him to a place where a woman who stole his bed curtains is trying to pawn them off. And like they're laughing and joking about the fact that he died because no one gives a fuck that he died.
Yeah,
and
no
he
one
died
showed
alone.
up to his funeral. Yeah.
And so like I do feel that would be I think if I understand which guy is which guy, then yeah, it would be Rickett, then Marcel, then Cavett.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Where's Kermit in all of this?
He's the one. He's the middle one. He's the one I said he's
okay.
having a nice Christmas.
Straight up, it has become such a reference in our household. Anytime something good happens that's like even a little bit unexpected or like we're celebrating, I just yell out who and
Tiny Tim, who did not die.
And it pops me every time. It's the funniest part of almost every Christmas Carol, other than Rizzo the Rat.
Oh wow.
I love that it's funny for you because that's when I start sobbing. I cry. No matter how many times I watch A Christmas Carol, I'm like, it's Tiny Tim. He's not gonna die.
I think that
I'm laughing.
He's eating
with
bird
delight.
bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember which adaptation of A Christmas Carol I saw as a kid. Because
Let's
think
start here. Did it have Muppets in it?
Well, was Kermit there?
It's so long ago that my mind is trying to figure out whether it was Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge, or whether it was Muppets. And I know I was very little, very very little, so I can't remember. It's sort of
Remember the Jim Carrey Scrooge?
no.
I do. Yes. A Robert Zemeckis classic.
That's right.
Oh, is it animated?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's horrifying.
It's awful. Yeah.
It's in the Polar Express era.
Oh,
of
jeez, yeah.
Yeah.
that
He
type.
pushed that
Awkward.
technology forward even more, and it's actually uncomfortable to watch in
Nice.
places.
That sounds cool. Should watch for the podcast.
If you want a real recommendation, anyone who wants A Christmas Carol, the George C. Scott TV movie,
We
out there.
literally watch that every year now.
it's perfect.
Nice.
I mean,
Or
Scrooged
Yeah.
also.
Did
It's fun when this is an actual thing I find delightful. A lot of times we'll make, like, when a holiday season is coming up, Halloween, Christmas, etc. We'll make a list of movies we want to try to watch that year, and a lot of times, like, I'll make a list, Jules make a list. Whenever we do Christmas, Jules' list is like 6 versions of A Christmas Carol, and then like 2 other things, and my list is like a bunch of horror movies.
We have to like plan out spacing out the Christmas carols because I would watch like 3 in one day, and Niall's like, I think maybe if we broke it up, it would be.
Maybe if we rein it in just a tad.
Yeah,
There
and
was
Jules
a year
is like,
I watched Muppet Christmas Carol, the George C. Scott one, and Scrooged all in the same weekend.
yeah, and I watched 2 of them.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm like, we can watch all the Black Christmases and also the, like, you know, it's
Krampus.
yeah, Krampus. We love Krampus.
hey,
Anyway,
Don't we love some Krampus?
I'm here to tell you, it's Mickey's Christmas Carol from 1983 that I saw as a
Nice.
kid.
sure,
Confirmed.
a good one.
Yeah, a classic.
I think I loved this as a it's this. Oh my god, I haven't seen this since I was very little. Wow.
Well, we should watch
Kyle's
that
gonna
together.
watch it
I'd
right
love
I would
to watch
love
that
to
with you.
watch this. Actually, let's watch cartoons.
Okay.
I would love to watch this 100%.
Can you guys put that as like a quote on your on like your homepage?
Yeah.
Quote, let's watch cartoons, Kyle.
We'll make it a shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's watch cartoons.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
On the 10-year anniversary,
The only
Jules,
shirt we
you
have
gotta
after
remember the
10-year
rules.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. You're right.
Thank you.
Jules, I'm spinning up our Teespring.
Great.
Cool.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Do not do this, but it'd be legitimately really funny if one of you guys started making It Gets Weird merch before we
If
did.
we
Oh.
put out a shirt.
Just the first volley of the hostile takeover that's on
Yeah.
that's on its way.
You see somebody in an It Gets Weird hat, and you're like, oh my god. It's
That would
happening.
actually fuck me up.
Somehow you guys get like a FUBU collab, like like Supreme, you know.
We've got some Nikes dropping.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. That would
Wow.
rock my world.
Have you been reading my email?
You synced it up with my phone one
Oh,
time.
fuck.
Yeah.
Garrett, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Hey, you know the It Gets Weird colorway will still drop.
Oh, Jesus
All
Christ. Well, hey, it was a long roundtable discussion of Roswell. Thank you both for joining us. I don't know why I said it like top
I'll
15.
say just like short and sweet, since we're on episode 500, I would like to just sincerely say I am like so proud of you guys that you make this podcast and that you've been doing it for that long. And it's so good and it's so fun to be able to come on. And whenever I come on, like I know I'm going to laugh the whole time. I've literally cried laughing multiple times. And one time before we even started recording, I was literally sobbing from Garrett telling a story. And so I just like, I had a really bad day at work today. And I texted Nile and I was like, the idea of recording a really long podcast is really a tough pill to swallow while I'm having a bad day. And Nile was like, being very supportive. And I said, you know what, actually, maybe seeing friends would be good. And Niall was like, I literally did a sound check with Garrett yesterday and he had me cracking the fuck up like the whole time. And I was like, you're right. And then that is what came true. And that's because this is a good podcast and you guys are really good hosts and very funny and fun. And you make it so fun and interesting and cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean,
Long Live It Gets Weird by Niall and Kyle.
you know,
Well,
It's a
until
nice
after this
eulogy
episode.
to give us on this
Yeah.
episode.
yeah, I do appreciate you saying all that on our last episode. And you know, no, I mean, fuck, I don't know. I don't have a lot of shit to say other than I can't believe we're at episode 500 and we're about to hit 10 years of the show, but I'm having fun doing it and we just kind of earnestly talk about what we're into. So, and
we're experts, which is the good part.
That's the best part.
Yeah, experts in our domain for sure. And you know, like I said, people love Garrett and
Masters of our own
Jules.
domain.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You can say that
can
a couple
still
more
say it.
times. I mean, feed my ego.
People love Garrett and Jules coming on the show to the point where I almost feel bad.
Threatened.
No, not threatened. Just bad that we don't ask you on more often. But just distance and remote recording, it just makes things a little harder. But we should probably have you on more often, and your cats.
Yeah, we'll try to get Garrett in the fold more again.
Yeah.
I would love it. I echo all the same sentiments as Jules. I think this podcast is amazing, and the people who host it are amazing. And I'm excited every single time that you guys ask me to be on it.
Oh man, I don't know how to follow that up. Thank you both for hanging out with us. It's always a pleasure. I mean, I think these are the four funniest people I know, and I love you all. So, yeah, thanks for joining us. I don't know whether I want to advertise. Fucking itgetsweirdpodcast@gmail.com. Email us patreon.com/itgetsweird. Give us money. I don't fucking care.
Do it. They've earned it.
Please.
Do either of you guys have anything you want to say before this wraps up?
Yeah, final thoughts before we're all killed.
Plugs, thoughts, jokes.
Can I peek behind the screen? And I think normally I've shared kind of what I've named the sound files. Could I say what the sound check was called yesterday?
Yeah, please tell them about the sound check file that Nile and I received in our inbox.
Shitting it up hog style in all caps. 420 friendly edition.
Garrett's always sending us files with fucked up names. I think one of the last files I remember going and cleaning out my folders, and I had a file from Garrett that was called Ass Boys 2 Deluxe or something like that. So Shitting it up hog style is a great episode 500 energy, because we have been, and we will continue to do so.
We're wallowing.
Mm-hmm. Well, Nile, do you want to take this one out back and shoot it?
Yeah, let's go take the thing behind the shed and shoot it.
Finally.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you for all your support over these years, and hopefully we'll, continue on for many years more. Sincerest thanks to all of you. This has been It Gets Weird 500, and we couldn't have done it without all of you. Peace.
I'm Kyle signing out.
Bye.